The story of Queen Elizabeth II. Once upon a time, in the grand land of England, a little girl named Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor was born on April 21, 1926. She came into the world in a beautiful home called 17 Bruton Street in London. Elizabeth's family was very special. Her father, Albert, was a kind and quiet man who loved his family deeply. Her mother, Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon, was gentle and caring, always teaching her daughters about love, kindness, and responsibility. Elizabeth had a younger sister named Margaret Rose, and the two were as close as sisters could be. They loved to play together, laugh, and explore the gardens of their families' homes. Though Elizabeth was born into royalty, her early years were peaceful and simple. No one thought she would become queen because her uncle, King Edward VIII, was next in line for the throne. Elizabeth thought her life would be quiet and ordinary, filled with her love for horses, dogs, and family adventures. Everything changed when Elizabeth was just 10 years old. Her uncle, King Edward VIII, decided to step down as king. He loved someone the royal family didn't approve of, and he chose love over the crown. This meant Elizabeth's father became King George VI, and suddenly, Elizabeth was next in line to be queen. This was a big surprise for Elizabeth and her family. Life became much busier as they moved to Buckingham Palace, a grand and historic home. Elizabeth's parents told her how important her new role was. They taught her that being part of the royal family meant helping people, showing kindness, and being a good leader. Elizabeth loved to learn, and she studied history, languages, and government. She had a special tutor who taught her about how the country worked. But she also made time for fun. She loved horses and started riding when she was very young. She also adored corgi dogs, which became her favorite pets for her whole life. When Elizabeth was a teenager, the world faced a terrible time called World War II. England was in danger, and the royal family stayed in the country to support the people. Elizabeth wanted to do her part to help. When she turned 18, she joined the Auxiliary Territorial Service, a branch of the army. Elizabeth learned how to drive trucks, fix engines, and do mechanical work. She wore a uniform and worked hard just like everyone else. The people of England admired her for her bravery and dedication. She showed them that even though she was a princess, she was willing to roll up her sleeves and help during a tough time. In 1952, Elizabeth's father, King George VI, passed away. Elizabeth was deeply saddened by the loss of her beloved father. But this also meant she had to take on a huge responsibility. At just 25 years old, Elizabeth became Queen of the United Kingdom. Her coronation in 1953 was a grand event watched by millions of people around the world. It was the first coronation ever to be broadcast on television, and it made Elizabeth a symbol of hope and unity for her people. Being queen was not easy. Elizabeth had many responsibilities, like meeting with leaders from other countries, attending important events, and helping make big decisions for her country. She also led the Commonwealth, a group of nations that had once been part of the British Empire but now worked together as friends. Elizabeth traveled to more than 100 countries during her reign, meeting people from all walks of life. She believed that kindness and respect were the keys to building strong relationships. Even though Elizabeth was very busy, she always made time for the things she loved. She adored animals, especially her corgis and horses. She spent her free time riding horses, walking her dogs, and enjoying the outdoors. Elizabeth also loved to celebrate special moments. She marked milestones like her Silver Jubilee 25 years as Queen, Golden Jubilee 50 years, and Platinum Jubilee 70 years with grand events that brought people together. These celebrations showed how much her people loved and admired her. Queen Elizabeth's reign was the longest in British history, lasting over 70 years. During her time as Queen, she saw incredible changes in the world. She witnessed the rise of technology, the first man landing on the moon, and the growth of social media. Despite all these changes, Elizabeth remained a steady and reliable leader. She guided her country through challenges like wars, economic troubles, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Through it all, she showed strength, wisdom, and compassion. Elizabeth's family was always an important part of her life. She married a man named Prince Philip in 1947. Together, they had 4 children: Charles, Anne, Andrew, and Edward. Elizabeth loved her family dearly, and she was a devoted mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother. As she grew older, Elizabeth passed her knowledge and values to her children and grandchildren. She taught them about responsibility, kindness, and the importance of serving others. On September 8, 2022, Queen Elizabeth II passed away at the age of 96. The world mourned the loss of a beloved leader who had dedicated her life to serving her country and the world. Elizabeth's story is one of courage, kindness, and dedication. She showed us that even in the most challenging times, we can find strength by staying true to our values. Her life reminds us that small acts of kindness can make a big difference and that hard work and compassion can inspire generations. Queen Elizabeth II will always be remembered as a remarkable leader, a loving family member, and a symbol of hope and unity for people around the world.